All right, let's talk about the holding company strategy. When you start a holding company from the beginning, and let's go ahead and kind of walk through the strategy. Number one, you don't have a business. You set up a holding company, which is a holding company, then you set up 1, 2, 3, 4 operating companies. Now, you don't have any business, nothing going on. But this structure will promote your mind. First of all, when you are trying to start one business, everything goes in that starting that one business, and many people will tell you to focus on that one business, which you should in the beginning. However, setting up the holding company strategy, and I'm going to walk you through the steps in the process, will open up your mind to setting up multiple companies. I will share with you what I feel is the best strategy to do this. Number one, set up a holding company, set up 4 operating companies. Let's talk about the cost. To do that, it's going to be about $1,000, $1,000 to $1,500. If you're in California or you're in New York, there are some options where you can actually set up your holding company somewhere else. And unless you're going to do a business in California or New York, I would literally avoid opening up an LLC in those states because of the cost, because just do New York and do California, you're looking at $5,000 or $6,000 just to set that up. Now, if you're positioned for that and that money's not a cost, you can go ahead and do that, but that's just letting you know. But set up the holding company, set up the 4 operating companies. Now, why do you want to do this? And below is a link for you to get into the art of holding, which will teach you how to set up a holding company and how to get crazy levels of business credit. And this is something you can do by setting up the holding company in 1, 2, 3, 4 operating companies. But let's go a little further in the future. You do this, right? And let's say you have a concept of what you want to set up, a concept of what you want to put into play, right? You've got a potential ideal of what you want to set up. So you go ahead and get your first company, and this will be your holding company, and this will be your operating company. And let's say it takes you 3 to 4 years to set up your operating company, get it rolling, get it making money. And then let's say in year 4, you're in the position where you've hired staff, where you actually don't have to be there, okay? So then you could take your second operating company, which now is 4 to 5 years old, because this is one of the principles of setting up the holding company strategy. Holding company, operating company, operating company, operating company. Now, this is one of the things, the name. You don't really have to focus on the name. You could call it your last name. You could do this. You can call your holding company the Johnson Holding Company. And you can go ahead and name all of your companies Johnson's Business 1, Johnson Business 2, Johnson Business 3, Johnson Business 4. Now, why would you do that? This is the thing. You can change the name of the operating company in the future. So you can go ahead and set that up. Now, changing the name doesn't change the age. So your company will be set up. So you could just literally come up with, or you could sit down and think of maybe some concepts you want to do in the future. You could sit down and think like, well, I want to start a car wash, or I want to start a window washing business, or I want to start a dumpster service. And if you kind of have a concept of one of the things, and this is the thing, literally, you got your first operating company, you got it set up, you got it running, you got it making money. This will make the setup of the second operating company extremely easy. Why? You already got the banking, you already have corporate credit, you already have that stuff. And it's just a matter of taking the concept of the ideal. And with the internet businesses, and I'll share something that I have done really, really different from previous holding companies. With the internet business, it gets to be very, very different. Because one of the things that I am doing, because literally last summer I set up a new holding company. And what's going on with this holding company, I have the holding company and I have one operating company at the moment, which is this. Now, this is what I'm getting ready to run out of this operating company. I'm gonna run the YouTube business, and then I'm going to run the online course business, and I'm going to run the Hustlers Kung Fu Drip, and I'm running an affiliate business. All of that is coming out of that one operating company. Why am I doing that? It's super easy, it's super simple. Then, now, because I already have a lot of business credit, so I'm not really worried about this. And I'm just kind of sharing with you what I'm doing. In the future, there will be an operating company number 2. Now, this one is going to take a lot of money to start, because this is something I've been thinking about. And this is kind of like my retirement plan, so to speak. Essentially, we're going to get this operating company to, the goal is $3 million a month. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 streams of income. So let's say a year from now, we should be at that $3 million a month. Now, it doesn't take me $3 million a month to live. Honestly, with everything, because both cars will be paid off this year. So pretty much, I know this is gonna sound funny, but my operating costs, once I get all that stuff paid off, will be about $6,000 per month. All right, so I'm making $3 million. Then I can pay myself $50,000 a month. $50,000 a month, and then they're gonna take, the taxes are gonna be kind of stupid. The taxes are gonna be roughly $20,000. So that's gonna leave me $30,000 or $15,000 every 2 weeks. Plenty of money for me to do what I need to do. So, and this is, the holding company strategy, because this is something I learned from actually doing the holding company. So I will take $50,000, which will leave, and let's go ahead and crunch the numbers. So 2.95, that's the gross revenue. And let's say our operating cost, we're gonna put our operating costs, including my $50,000 salary, at $500,000 a month, which is gonna leave 2.45, right? And then I'm gonna pay that out as a dividend. That will be paid out as a monthly dividend. And my taxes on that will be 20%, which will be, let's see, 2,450. I need to start bringing my phone over, times 2. So that's going to be 10, 8, 4. So that's going to be about $500,000 in taxes, which will leave me $195. Then I'm going to take that money and invest it in operating company number 2. Now, it's really important that I have the cash flow, because this is going to prevent me from having to go out and get loans. And with 1.95 over a year times 12, that's going to be, about $25 million. Now, this is the thing, and this is what I learned from the holding company strategy. because I have the holding company strategy, I've got this one business over here that's doing like 3 million a month, and then I will take 1.9 million and put it into this second operating company, which is like quasi the retirement type deal. Because literally, based upon my math, just crunching the numbers, if I do this for 1 year and I create this company that has 25 million in assets, 25 million in assets, and if we were to do 10% return per year, that's 2.5 million per year. Because once again, like, one of the things that, and this is kind of part of the corporate citizen strategy, you want to make way more money than you need. You want to make so much money that you can literally go out and get assets on a different kind of level. There is someone who literally created a real estate fund and raised, I think, 15 million. And because this person wasn't really business savvy, they didn't understand that they needed a lot more money to do what they wanted to do. They had no clue. But essentially, we take my holding company, and then we have Mac, the first operating company that generates this income, and then this income goes into buying assets, hard money assets, things that are paid for in cash, that in turn now produce a monthly income. Like stocks, I've looked at stocks, because I actually, was like, how do people get their money out of stocks? If it's not a dividend paying stock, typically it's going to require you to sell that stock. So this is what you're hoping for. You're hoping that your stock portfolio goes up 10%, and then you can take a 4% return and sell 4% to put money in your pocket. I personally don't like that. And also, just for giggles, if we were to, because essentially what I've seen is for each million, you can get 30 to 50,000 in dividends. So if I had $25 million of dividend stock, I would be getting, let's see, each 10 million would be 300,000 to 500,000. So if I got 25 million, that would be 600, it'd be 750 on the low end, and that would be 1.2 million on the high end of dividend stock. You see how much money you need to get what I consider a decent return? Now, once again, my income mindset is very different. For me, a decent return isn't like 100K a year, because I literally have made that in my sleep. But that's how much stuff you need to actually get what I call a realizable dividend. And this is part of the holding company mindset, because literally, once we get this holding company built out, which I feel will take this whole year. So let's go ahead and talk about January of 2025. And I have the company doing 3 million a month. And in 2025, I can literally lock down my retirement. And this comes from the holding company strategy, and it comes from the mindset of having more than one company and having multiple streams of income. Because I do this in 2025. Am I going to shut down the first operating company? Absolutely not. So I will have that first operating company that's making 36 million. Then I have 25 million in assets that are producing the income. And that's pretty much my retirement plan. And I want you to really think about it. And this is something that's real feasible and real doable in today's world with today's information. That literally all of this information, all of this strategy that I literally took to put into learning from building my first holding company, building my second holding company, now building my third holding company, essentially, I have expanded my mindset that literally I can go ahead, because like I said, I've got 25 million in assets and they're doing a 10% return. That's going to be more than I can get from dividend stock. And I'm just saying 10% because actually I think the return's going to be about, let's see, 10%, that's 200,000 per month. Let's say my 25 million in hard assets produce 500,000 per month in gross revenue, and we do 6 million a year. And that's before taxes and stuff is taken out. Essentially, I can go ahead and take the holding company strategy, build this business in 1 year, create this business that has $25 million in assets, and literally set up my retirement for the rest of my life. Because I would have a business with hardcore assets that are paid off, that are producing income for the rest of my life. So, I am 57, and when this happens, I will become 58. So, my life is pretty good as it is, but let's go ahead and say 58 to 78, which is 20 years in the future. And at 6 million, and we'll just go ahead and say it makes 6 million and the income doesn't go up, even though I know it will, times 20. That's 20 times 6. That's $120 million in my retirement years. In my, because that's, $120 million in my retirement years, where I literally have it set up, where I have people employed, people in place, where all I have to do is just come in and sign paperwork, and I'll be 78. And let's go into 88, which is 30 years in the future. That will be $180 million just from operating company number 2. Because one of the things is, and this is something that I have to talk about, is, having the money to get assets, because I have people who do real estate. And if you want to make money, and let's be 100% clear, you can make a lot of money in real estate. You can. But you need a lot of real estate to make a lot of money in real estate. And everyone that I know I know this girl, she has about 25 properties, and her strategy was really smart. She bought, her first 10 properties were trash properties. Everything needed extensive rehabs, and she got them really, really cheap. So she was able to get these properties really cheap, and literally she had 3 properties that were completely paid off before she quit her job. 3. And then she bought more and more and more using her strategy. Now she's at a point where she does virtually nothing. She has hired people to run it, and literally she went to Spain for a month. She's put herself in a position to do whatever she wants to do with her time, with her money, and set herself up. And this is the holding company strategy, because once I sat down and thought about it, and I thought about this last summer, that if I can go ahead and get these multiple businesses, and this is just 2 businesses, this is one holding company and 2 businesses. Now, why do I teach you to set up one holding company and 4 businesses? Great question. Because this will open you to getting a lot of business credit. You can get business credit today, and 2 years in the future, you can get even more business credit. But essentially, for someone like myself, who already has a lot of business credit, who's already had multiple businesses, and this is something else too. This year, I'm going to shut down all of my old operating companies. Literally, with the older YouTube channels, I'm just pretty much, I'm gonna change all that up, where all my YouTube stuff will be in this company, this new operating company. Because the YouTube business, the online business, Hustles Kung Fu Drip, the affiliate business, and maybe maybe coaching. I haven't really decided. A certain kind of coaching. So that would be 5 streams of income in this one operating company. This is really, really different because literally I sat down and really thought about it. Now, essentially, this is first one. Then I'm probably going to go ahead this summer, probably set up the LLC for the second operating company and set up the business banking for it probably this summer, maybe toward October, because I think that this would be good to go in the month of January of 2025. And once again, and there's some other stuff I'm getting ready to do because literally I'm gonna get a line of credit from Chase. I'm gonna get Chase business credit cards. And this is me projecting for the future. This is stuff I'm setting up for the future because I have this holding company mindset of expansion and building. And I wish I knew this, all of this information that I have. I wish I knew it when I was 20 years old. Because if I could have got started with this at 20, with this exact knowledge, with this exact blueprint, I would have been a multimillionaire at around 27, and I would have been here. This would have been done by the time I was 30. And I just, because it's knowledge, it's about knowing what you can do, what you can set up, and how you can build and how you can create. And the holding company strategy literally opens up your mind. It's like, yes, I'm gonna start this business today. And then once this business is mature, 2, 3, 4 years in the future, then I'm gonna open up a second company. But because you opened up that first company, the second company is gonna be super easy to set up. And then the third company will be super easy to come up. And this is something, I saw a comment and I kind of halfway agree with the comment and I halfway don't agree with the comment. Buying businesses. You can buy a business, but if you don't know how to run that business, you can lose a lot of money. But literally, when you set up the holding company, you have your first operating company, you have your second operating company, and let's say you have a friend, someone you know, and they're getting ready to retire and they want to sell, let's call it a heating and HVAC business, air conditioning business, and they want to sell it, and you're in a position where you could just like create another operating company, or you can buy his company and bring it under your corporate umbrella and work out a deal with him. It's like, okay, this is what I do. And this is one of the things that happens when you're a good business person and you have friends. Your friend is not going to take 2 seconds because your friend's already going to know that you have 1 and 2 successful businesses. So you can literally work out the deal like, hey, this is what I'll do. I'll buy your business and I will pay you with the cash flow from your business. And then you can work out some type of deal where essentially you could bring this company under your business and literally spend no money, because it's like, okay, let's say, just kind of work out the deal. Let's say your friend's going to sell you this business for $10 million. And what you're going to do is, and let's say the business makes $2 million a year. So they're going to sell it. Let's say the business makes $3 million. That would make more sense. Business makes $3 million a year, and he's going to sell it for you for 10. And you could tell him, what I will do is I will pay you $1 million per year using the cash flow from the business, because it's there. And then you pay him his $1 million a year. You can pay monthly, or you could pay quarterly, or you could pay yearly. It really depends, because like, let's say you have a concept where you're gonna actually pay him monthly, which is gonna be $80,000 per month to get to $1 million a year. And then you literally do that for 10 years, then you now have this business that's completely paid for, that's already under your corporate umbrella. Because once you set up your first holding company, then you set up your holding company banking and all this other stuff, everything that comes after it gets super easy. It's so easy. And literally you can put yourself in a position where you can buy multiple businesses, because number one, you've got company one, you have company two, you have cash flow, you have credit, and this opens up the doors to so many possibilities. It literally will blow your mind. So essentially, one of the things I'm looking at doing is just setting up this, like I said, January 2025, set up this operating company, and then just go ahead. Because, right now I'm sitting on a large chunk of cash, but I have to be proactive. And like stocks are, I have some stocks, but there's nothing that compares to monthly cash flow of a business. Stocks don't compare, real estate doesn't compare, cryptocurrency doesn't compare. And literally go ahead in 1 year and build a business that has $25 million in assets that are appreciating, and also have cash flow. And this is one of the things. And when I get there, I'll tell you exactly what this business is, because at the moment I'm just speculating, and I've got to take this whole year and build out this first operating company. And this is really different than anything I've done before. So we've got we're redoing the YouTube. This is a new YouTube channel. We've got the online courses, the Hustlers Kung Fu Grip. I actually just got my first affiliate marketing check the other day. That's something I'm gonna get big in, and maybe coaching. So we have a lot of stuff that we're gonna work on. A lot of things that we're gonna work on. Also, there's a link below for those of you who want to become Art of Holding. It's very expensive, and I'm going to explain to you why it's expensive. The things I'm teaching you, let's say it's going to cost $5,000, right? So you spend $5,000 this year, and I teach you how to make six figures for the rest of your life. Once you look at it from that perspective, it's quite cheap. But once again, it's about your perspective and where you are financially. All right, so that's all I got. The link's below. You can go ahead and get in that. That's all I got for you guys, and I will see you in the next video.